Hey, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. We are going to create a simple bow here today. I am one of the creative coaches inside the Deco Exchange Creative Coaching Group, and we are trying to help make sure that you are all set with the simple bows to go in your wreaths, and these bows could really go kind of anywhere. I'm going to actually give you a name for this bow. It's the Lisa bow. It's the bow I learned to make in the very beginning. It's simple, it's easy, it's quick, and it has 3 ribbons. You could add more if you wish, but of course it starts with 3 ribbons. So we are going to use partial in my hand, partial and easy bow maker, just because I do have carpal tunnel, and so it's easier for me to set things in the easy bow maker to hold on to as I go on to the next layer. So all I'm going to do is start with an 8-inch tail, and so I'm going to start I'm going to measure 8 inches and pick up the ribbon and start my first loop. So our first loop is going to be 6 inches. So I'm just going to measure about 6 inches. That's way too big. About 6 inches. Okay. So from here, I'm going to pinch or gather my ribbons together. And then I'm going to pull them apart, because when they gather, they kind of crunch together. So I'm going to pull them apart. And then I'm going to twist this back ribbon. I'm going to twist just this back ribbon. I'm not going to twist it over anything. I'm just going to twist this back ribbon. So I'm going to twist so that I can still see the pretty side. I'm going to make my next loop. Okay. Pinch. Twist. And loop. So this bow has 2 loops on one side, 2 tails on the other side, and 1 loop on the other side. So 2 tails in a loop and 2 loops. So I'm just going to set this down in there while I work on the next layer. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. So 7 inches on the tail, 6 inches on the loop. Except for this loop is going to be a little bit smaller. So I started with a 6 inch. I'm going to go maybe 5.5 inches. Just a little bit smaller as I go along. So I'm going to pinch, pull them apart, twist, bring it down for my next loop, pinch, twist, and loop. There we go. Pinch and twist. Now, one thing with these layers is as I put them in, I'm going to make sure that my 2 loops keep going opposite from each other. Cut that off. So 2 loops are over here. My 2 loops are going to go over on this side. And then just like anything else, I did take the Lisa bow and added a little bit something different. So I added a center loop. So I just added 1 center loop on the last layer of ribbon. So however many layers of ribbon you're putting in, again, they're all the same. Pinch, twist, loop, 2 loops on one side, 2 tails on the other side with 1 loop. On the last layer, on the top layer, usually I do 3 ribbons for this bow. On the last layer, I do an extra loop, and it's usually about 4 inches. So we had 6 inches on the bottom for my loop, about 5.5 inches. The loops will be about 5 inches, but the center loop will be about 4. So let's start again. We'll go with a 7 inch. We'll go with our 4 inch center loop. Oops, sorry. 4 inch center loop. It's roughly 4 inches. Okay. Pinch. And then the next 3 loops will be roughly 5 inches. Pull that apart, twist, loop, and if I measure, it is right on 5. Oops, nope. There we go. 5 inches, pinch, twist, loop. Just measure that. Eyeball it, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, and twist. Now, again, I'm watching for the 2 loops. So even though this now has a tail on each side, because I added that extra loop, that doesn't matter. I'm still looking for those 2 loops. So if the 2 loops were over here, then I need my 2 loops to go on this side. Now, I am going to encourage you to use a zip tie in addition to a pipe cleaner. Okay, so I'm going to take this off of here, nice and easy. As I pull it up, I'm going to kind of scrunch it. I'm going to use a zip tie just to kind of ensure this bow isn't going to come apart. Nice and tight. Now, it's together. Cut that off. So it's together, and then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and add it over the top. So I have a double layer of security here, number 1. And number 2, I have now a space, something to use to attach my bow to something, right? Attach it to something. Before I fluff, I'm going to go through all of my ribbons. I'm going to fold them in half. I'm going to cut on the fold up towards the edge, on the fold up towards the edge. Then what I do is, now so I have my pipe cleaner, I can see this center loop is intentfully to hide that. So I'm going to bring it right up to the center and kind of pull it apart and just kind of wiggle it through so that that's going to be my center loop. And now you can't see that pipe cleaner from the top. I'm going to hold on to the pipe cleaners underneath so I don't lose track of them and they don't wiggle around, so they stay right in the back of the center of the bow. So they will be in the right spot when we need to attach it to something. Then I'm going to start on the bottom layer and just pull apart that bottom layer. So make kind of like spread them apart. So I have tail, loop, tail. Then the next layer is going to go right between it. For that I have to take off my hands and let go of some things. Okay. And then the next layer is going to alter from this layer. So my first layer, and then my second layer, and then my third layer is going to go in between my second layer. And then I'll bring this tail over here. Okay. Do the same thing to the other side. Bring that bottom layer out side to side. Now I don't want those 2 touching, so I'm going to bring the tail to the gingerbread over there. And look, you got a pipe cleaner and a zip tie. You can do some moving. It's all right. So all the way around the bottom, if you see, I have plaid, gingerbread, plaid, gingerbread, plaid, gingerbread, plaid, gingerbread, plaid, gingerbread, right? So it's just, I can see all of those layers as I go up. Now I said I was going to take this and put it right over here. And spread these out. You're the boss of the ribbon. You're the one that can make it go where you need it to go. So hold on to underneath here. And I'm going to loop all my loops. Make sure they look pretty and looped, not flat. You know, I flipped that ribbon over to add our zip tie and flattened everything else out. So now I have a super easy, simple 3-ribbon bow that I can attach to any wreath. It's built with a zip tie, so I don't have to worry about it coming apart. Super duper cute. Yeah, I hope this helped in your bow making skills.